Alright guys, welcome back to Simple Balance Astrology today. And stand back here with a new video, the Saturn return. And yes, this is going to be quite a long video because I'm going to go through Saturn through each of its signs. Oh man. Alright, so if you don't know where your Saturn is placed, please check out the link below to get your free natal chart to see where all your signs are placed. All right, all of them. And I apologize if I've been sort of been busy and everything, but life just happens. All right, so today is a very important topic. The Saturn return. In life we sort of have this rite of passage, right? Just a little background here. Saturn return occurs every 27, 29 years back to the same sign. So let's say your Saturn is in Aries. It takes about around 28 years, right? Before it goes back to Aries. And why is this important in our lives is the question, right? Well, if you've been following along, that means that when you're around 27, 29 years old, you will sort of experience Saturn return, the rite of passage. And Saturn represents what? Responsibility, hard work, pretty much that government figure that sort of shapes you in a sense. In other words, it's pretty much adulthood, okay? Like when you're young, you're kind of like thinking, "Oh man, I want to be a doctor. I want to be a firefighter or whatever," right? And then Saturn is going to challenge that. Is this really what you're supposed to do? Is this what you want? Is it really what you want? Or is that what your parents want you to do? You know? It's like sort of testing your patience and your willpower if you can handle it. Regardless of what's going to happen. When you're around that age, 28, 29 to like 30, right? Saturn is going to show you what really matters. So let's just talk about the truth here, right? Saturn represents responsibility, right? So it can sort of, the truth is, depending on the sign and what you have to work on, it can deny you of certain things, but also bring you certain things as well, depending if you have learned the lesson on that sign, right? So the point is, Saturn is going to show you the strongest points of what you need to learn, right? And, Saturn is ruled by, Saturn is the ruler of the ambitious Capricorn, right? So the question is, when you're around 28 to 30, are you ready to do the hard work? And, Saturn can sort of confirm that. If you've already been working through Saturn's lessons, around the age 28 to 30, it's going to be a very smooth transition. But if you haven't, well, you're in for a big surprise, for sure. Okay? So for those 2.5 years, things are going to happen, okay? Whether Saturn's going to challenge you to do this or that, maybe you're buying a new house or change careers, just relationship-wise, right? Saturn is going to show you what it really means, okay? All right, so without further ado, I don't want to take too long on this video because it's just a general overview of what it's supposed to be like. Okay, Saturn in Aries, right? Let's go through it like that because Saturn in Aries or Saturn in the first house pretty much means the same thing. The first house of the ascendant, the actual self, right? Aries represents the individual, the person. They are the self-starters, the go-getters, right? So Aries represents the way Saturn Aries people are very good at diving in, kickstarting things. However, the lesson that needs to be learned here is that they're very up and down, right? They start from project to project, and the staying power of each goal is not too quick. They're very quick to jump from one thing to the next, right? So Saturn is trying to teach them a lesson to really know that in life you really can't do it alone. No, you really can't. And it's trying to tell them that you need to be a leader without being too bossy or domineering. Right. So, and honestly, it's much easier to accomplish a goal when you do it together, right? It's more efficient. As long as you have the right people with the right mindset, then you'll be successful. Okay? On to the next. Saturn and Taurus. Taurus represents comfort and just the luxuries in life. This is pretty much Saturn in the second house of values, all right, shared assets, right? And Taurus, they love the practical luxury and comfort. And Saturn here is trying to ask them or ask you if you have this placement that uh, do you have the funds to get all of that, right? So Saturn is going to be budgeting, budgeting, budgeting. Are you able to budget this, right? And get those gains patiently. Saturn's going to give that to you, for sure. All those luxurious things that you want, those comforts. But it's going to give it to them through time. Because Saturn represents time. Time, responsibility, hard work. If you can follow through it, you're going to get it for sure. Okay? And if you don't, you're just digging yourself in a bigger pit. Okay? Because at the end of the day, when you follow Saturn's lessons, you will receive that high-end wine and dine kind of thing. All right? Okay, on to the next one. Saturn and Gemini. All right, Gemini here represents communication, right? Saturn here can really test you because you might feel like a very shy individual, shy about really expressing yourself. Expressing yourself. That's the key here, is because Gemini is ruled by what, Mercury, right? So it's about communication. Saturn wants you to really voice your own opinions and express yourself. And when you do this, you can really thrive in real, authentic relationships. And the point here is to not really compromise yourself, right? When you're exchanging those communication, those ideas, right? Don't be quick to just get, yeah, 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 yes, yes, yes. You're nodding your head, right? But the point is to express yourself. And through then, finally you can actually work through some real strong, beneficial partnerships in your life. And then any areas of writing and teaching, right? Even computer programming is good for you too. Some coding, all right? Okay. Next is Saturn in Cancer, or Saturn in the fourth house. Fourth house represents the home life, the home body. And Cancer is all about family, the source of comfort and everything. Saturn's gonna teach you, yeah, you might have a struggle here. You don't want to leave your home feeling too much comfort, overly attached to uh, your family, your relatives, and shyness also can be a huge issue. Okay, and there might be challenges at a younger age with the mother. Okay, and some difficult childhoods. But what you should really learn here is just about real emotional intelligence, right? When you really embrace your own feelings, you can understand that you have this inner caretaking instincts, right? Better than you think that you actually had. You can learn this about yourself and actually dive into careers of uh, culinary world, hospitality, or nursing, okay? And you can actually benefit from actually creating your own small business. It will be very fulfilling for you, for sure. All right, Saturn and Leo. All right, Saturn in the fifth house of fun, kids, and everything, of fun. Okay. Okay, so Saturn here is about fairy tale romance and everything. Okay. But the problem is here that the placement here often involves access, a lot of overindulging in just dramaticism, right? Self-expression, a bit too much. In other words, you guys sort of, just generally, I think it's romanticizing and idealizing people, right? And this can severely place struggles in relationships because you don't really see the red flags. The red flags. So Saturn is pretty much trying to tell you, hey, figure out what you really want in a relationship, right? Figure what is actually right for you. What are you actually looking for? Because everything is all fun and games until it gets serious. Then you're kind of like, oh shoot, right? Okay. So here, yes, find out who you really are, and then you can finally bring out your own individual values. You can finally be creative, and then using that creativity, find a career that's right for you. Uh, yes. Saturn in Virgo or Saturn in the sixth house of diseases and health and everything. And we know what Virgo is, right? Details and details. You guys love systems and just making life run well, like a old machine that runs perfectly. Right? Virgo, you guys hate chaos. But the real point here is that going with the flow. Yes, going with the flow because learning to go with the flow. Saturn is trying to teach you guys that because when you work on the details too much, you often miss the bigger picture, and you're gonna spend too much time overworking in certain areas, which will lead you to be susceptible to certain diseases in this house, right? Get sick because you're overworking, not quite efficiently, but we understand that life just happens, right? You can't control everything, no. So here, if you learn to sort of to learn life just embrace Virgo, eat healthy things, let life take its course sometimes, not try to be too controlling here. And yeah, Saturn will bring you great benefits when you guys also serve nonprofit work and anything that involves organic foods, holistic healing, anything of that nature, really. Um, okay, so Saturn in Libra, Saturn in the seventh house of partnerships, right? This is sort of kind of rough, no? Sort of understanding what exactly is partnership. Um, Relationships here can be sort of a double-edged sword for you guys because Libra is about balance and harmony, and this is struggle of understanding the balance of relationships. Am I giving too much or am I taking too much? It's a real struggle in this equilibrium of give and take. Saturn's gonna bring the hard truths about really coexisting harmoniously with another person. Yes. Okay. So the test here is to understanding boundaries. Okay, and setting limits with your relationships and sort of setting those not expectations but those boundaries, right? And what you're expecting and what you need to communicate towards your significant other. Yes. Okay, Saturn in Scorpio or Saturn in the eighth house of the hidden things in this world. Money, the occult, sex, and all of those dark things, right? Yes. Yeah, so this is not really a light or fluffy thing, right? There's money, power, sex involved, right? But Saturn here can really just give you that sort of blockage in those abundances, right? A fear of success and bodily hang-ups, right? But Saturn return here through this time period can really show you how to work through them, right? And you can really transform because Scorpio is all about what? Transformation, all right? That's the beauty of Scorpio. It's like a phoenix that rise from the ashes. Shh. Rebirth will take place as long as you engage and take on. Don't run away from Saturn because you can't. You're not going to be able to run unless you want to suffer. Okay? Yes. When you finally understand Saturn's goals are revival, right? You will be very good at just digging deep. Your career may involve medicine or anything that's helping people with personal crisis, okay? Deep understanding, intimacy. And you help them transform too. This is actually a love, it's pretty, I think it's a pretty great placement to have, depending on, when you're born, blah, 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 right? You'll be very resourceful. You're kind of like an alchemist that really turned the mundane into gold, right? Any field of investigation is gonna work well for you when you finally understand Saturn's advice. Okay. Next is Saturn in Sagittarius, or Saturn in the ninth house of higher learning here. Oof, this is really a test about cross-cultural things, higher learning, higher belief systems, and in your life you may be adopting to different sort of existing belief systems of different cultures. And Saturn return here will probably, if you haven't really traveled much, Saturn return is going to definitely push you to travel more. Yes, I've seen this placement in several charts, and even some of my friends really. After the Saturn return, they travel a lot actually. They travel quite a bit, like 5 times a year, because Saturn is going to push them to understand that, hey, life is not isolated. There are places you need to be and understand. So they will see, you know, you whatever you believe in, before, there's much more to that than just that. Okay, so here, when they understand this, some people go back to school for higher learning, for higher education, and yeah, your career in the future may involve a lot of traveling, teaching, or publishing, which is true, which I can confirm with some of my friends there. Saturn in Aquarius, or Saturn in the oh no, sorry guys, Saturn in Capricorn, Saturn in the 10th house of hard working in career, right? Saturn loves to be here. This is what Capricorn is all about. Saturn ruled, okay? You guys are sort of obsessed with your goals. And if you've been hardworking, once you reach around this age of 28 to 30, Saturn will reward you. Yes, he will. You can finally find your career now, or you have that sort of promotion that you want, okay? And if you have been slacking off, Saturn's gonna slap you and wake you up. Yeah, that you need to be more stern, very hardworking, and make it very like an awakening. Okay, here, career, big businesses will call your name. Okay, and you may also return to school for your MBA, or be called to get the director's position, or be a CEO, or hey, great CEO. So yes, here we go. Okay, Saturn in Aquarius, Saturn in the 11th house of pretty much humanitarianism, right? You know, I think this life lesson here for Saturn is that you may struggle finding who your real tribe is, right? Because Aquarius is just very eccentric, uh, out of the box thinking, and you may start a nonprofit or anything with social work or social justice, right? That makes your life more fulfilling. And since your Aquarius rules technology, all right, you may be in the field of technology innovation, where you can invent something uh, for life-changing projects, right, for the world, and make things better, like a new app or a gadget. Okay, and you will be surrounding yourself with people that think more like you, very inspiring innovators, as colleagues. Okay, and last but not least, and Saturn in Pisces, Saturn in the 12th house of our unconscious. Okay, the stuff that is not part of this world, the unconscious. Saturn here will test you, that reveal to you really that you are a natural born healer, and you will definitely be awakened during your Saturn return to be more compassionate, to embrace more of the hidden things in life, such as spirituality and very other esoteric pursuits, okay? And there will be a great interest in human psych or alternative medicine that will heal just not the physical body but the mental, okay, as well. You know, and I can't stress this enough, but there is going to be a real emphasis on learning to learning about boundaries, okay, and not making too many sacrifices. You know, Pisces is a very giving sign, but you will be at a true spiritual awakening where you will embrace more of the arts, music, poetry will call your name. That sort of inner spiritual awakening, right? And yes, so you will have a gift in working with the arts, the numbers, the codes, and doing holistic healing, guys, here. All right, guys. Oof, that was a long, what, like 20 minutes. I apologize, but, you know, trying to get through Saturn through the series. And yes, that's my analysis of Saturn, the Saturn return through the signs. And if you have any comments, please comment and please subscribe. Yes, subscribe and request anything that you like. And I'll see you in the next video, guys. Thank you so much.